Well, I know we talked to. Oh, go ahead.
You and Harsin, probably, to an outsider, one of the biggest questions in the city. How much does do you think about the quarterback decision? How much does that kind of consume your day?
I mean, obviously, it's a big factor for us. That position, we got to have a guy out there that can excel, and it's really about the development of that whole group. And no decisions are being made at this point. It's all evaluation. We were able to evaluate them in the off season and spring ball, through their summer development, and then now we're jumping into that fall camp where we're getting so many practices to get them ready to play football games. So
is it a bit of an exciting opportunity to do this? Do something like this?
Yeah, it's every year is exciting. It really doesn't matter who you have in that room. Every single year is exciting. And for each position coach, you're trying to develop that room as much as you can and get them prepared to win. And obviously we're in an interesting situation with Brett leaving, and now we've got a lot of quarterbacks in that room who haven't taken any snaps, on the blue. So preparing them for those situations is huge, but they're excited. They're excited to get out there and go practice. It's a very humble room too. Where there's not a lot of big egos in there, and they're really just concerned about playing well, their own development, but then also winning football games as a team. So and the team chemistry is huge. So a lot of it comes from that room.
We were talking to Brian down in Vegas at Media Days, and he said that you expected Chase to be cleared by tomorrow, but it hadn't happened yet, I guess. Is he been cleared to go participate fully tomorrow?
Yeah, or? He's on a process through the training staff, and he went and a lot of the summer stuff that we're doing out there, and the player run practices he was able to be a part of, and so he's on that plan to just keep working to that game week, really. And,
okay.
So that's a training room, decision on things like that and reps, and
so he'll
when he gets cleared and all that stuff. But so he'll
be limited a little bit then to start with, or?
We'll have to monitor that.
Okay.
The training staff.
What is in terms of being an option for the Florida State game though? I mean, he's whatever the plan is, there's no issue there, right? I mean, as of now, at least.
No, he should be fine once we get to we get all the way through there. That's the plan, where we're trying to get him to, and where our training staff's trying to get him to.
Brian kind of said that he basically admitted that if he hadn't gotten hurt, I think he said leg up would have been the right word. He wouldn't have been his, but he might have obviously had more of a head start on the competition. How do you just with what the experience he did have last year, and just knowing the offense and getting to play a little bit before he got hurt, and kind of learning behind Brett and stuff? How do you think all that previous knowledge and experience does help him in this?
It was a huge help. Not obviously the way he handled the situation of his ACL was awesome. You couldn't have asked for a better response to a tough situation, and it was a benefit for him, to be behind a guy like Brett, with how he prepared, because Brett prepares better than anybody I've ever seen. And Chase was one of those guys that was always, with Brett, whether it was watching film or like, hey, how do you do this? Or like on the field, off the field. I mean, they were always around each other, and Chase took advantage of that. And that's a huge benefit, for him. And then the way Chase handled the spring ball, he can't play, but yet he still, remained totally focused on the development of those guys in that room and helped everybody out. And he's doing signals, and he's coaching guys up on the sidelines, and he was, directly involved, on a day-to-day basis. You never saw that withdraw or like, well, I'm not in there, so, it's not about him. He's very selfless, and he's all about, the team and winning football games.
Did you learn a lot about his resiliency, or was that something you guys kind of already knew he had?
Well, we already had an idea of his demeanor, and he's one of those guys that everybody likes to be around because he doesn't have a big ego, and he's easy to talk to, and he listens, and he's very intentional with what he does. But you never know in that type of situation, being a big deal, tearing an ACL, and he's already done it, before. So we were very pleased, I guess, in the way he handled it, and you never know how a kid's gonna to react to a lot of that stuff. But he handled it as good as anybody could have.
How's the, I guess from the same question, but with Hank, how did getting to be here for the spring help him in his development? Kind of, Brett did the same thing when he came in and was more prepared, I guess, to be able to play. How did that help Hank?
Helped him a ton. Yeah, both those guys. I mean, even Caden too. Both coming in early, being able to hear an install, going through meetings. Go out there and do well, fail. All that stuff, and trying to learn and figure it out in their development. Because you see a quarterback that comes in during the summer and just has fall camp to now you're in it. They're so far behind, from where a kid that is able to come in January, go through spring ball, go through all those meetings, and now we're going to go into fall camp, and they're way ahead of where they would be.
I'm guessing in the 42 minutes of been answering questions, very few have been about Jalen Henderson, and he's
actually, you'd be surprised.
Okay,
Yeah.
But I mean, is he taking the first snap tomorrow? I mean, is he until he's unseated? I mean, is he kind of being the senior and being the guy that is obviously in spring ball was a key guy for you? I mean, is he? A lot of people seem like they're forgetting about him in this race. I mean, is it more than a two-person race?
Well, he'll definitely be in the race,
Yeah.
but we'll see tomorrow as far as who takes that first one.
Yeah.
No, there's all those guys are ready to compete. They all have something to prove. They all have some really good attributes, and different types of quarterbacks in that room. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to who can make the best decisions and who can help our offense score points.
Yeah. And in terms of the offense in general, it's quarterback, running back, top couple of receivers. How do you kind of look at the offense as a whole going into camp, and what you think you guys can do this year?
Offensively, it's very nice as a coordinator knowing that you got your O-line back, and that's really the heart and soul of our offense. Because sometimes in those skill positions, you can work with some development and some tough times if you got a really good O-line. It makes things a whole lot easier. And those guys are really good leaders, and they've gelled, as a group. Coach Bedell does a really good job with those guys, and so it'll be fun seeing them hopefully knock our defense around a little bit and set the tone, because again, we want to be physical on offense.